And now, your forecast first from the CBS 17 Storm Team.
Well, the third day of this warm, wet, and humid work week is almost over, but the actual rain for today is not over yet. Good evening, I'm Wes Hohenstein. Still some scattered showers and thunderstorms, again, like everything else, moving off to the north, up into Virginia, but it's mainly north of the triangle, so some heavy downpours, thunder and lightning headed for Person County as well as some of the Virginia border counties, and some of that rain will be around for tomorrow morning's commute. It's Thursday, and when you leave for work and school, again, a 20% chance of rain. Still going to be warm and muggy, starting off around 70. By lunchtime, temperatures heading toward 80 degrees, and yes, we'll fire up more rain chances in the afternoon. I'll take you through the whole day, hour by hour, coming up a little later.
Now, local news that matters. This is CBS 17 News.
Our students deserve more than what they're getting.
There's no one in the state that knows more about education than those people marching out there. Let's ask them why the limited raises they've been given are inadequate.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Thousands of educators, students, and parents marched to the Capitol on the opening day of the state legislature. We will have much more on today's rally, but first tonight, big news for Central North Carolina.
The Triangle Business Journal reports RTP is top on the Apple shortlist for a new campus. CBS 17's Maggie Newland is live tonight at RTP. And Maggie, what could this mean for our area?
Well, Angela, it could have a big impact if Apple does, in fact, come here to RTP. It could bring thousands of jobs paying six-figure salaries. Apple may have its eye on the Triangle. According to the Triangle Business Journal, the Raleigh-Durham area is the front runner for Apple's new campus.
We're definitely hearing it is a massive project. It could be the biggest project in state history.
Lauren Onesorge is a senior staff writer for Triangle Business Journal and one of the reporters who broke the story.
We have heard that Apple is sort of finalizing its decision right now. Now, obviously, this could change. Nothing has been signed. To our knowledge, there has not been a real estate deal that has been made, even though we know that they have looked at places in Research Triangle Park.
Governor Cooper remained quiet on any potential deal, but may have dropped a hint.
We are working very hard to bring companies to North Carolina, including high-tech companies. We think that's important, but under confidentiality agreements, I cannot comment on that specifically.
But the governor reportedly met with Apple CEO Tim Cook, a Duke graduate who spoke at the university's commencement Sunday.
Aided by technology, every individual has the tools, potential, and reach to build a better world.
We know that they had some discussions, and apparently they went well.
A deal will need more than the governor's support, though.
Well, when you're talking about thousands of jobs, you're not talking about a small incentive package. Something like this is likely going to require legislative approval.
Now, I reached out to Apple but have not received any response. I also asked what this could mean for our bid for Amazon's second headquarters and was told, well, it could go either way. Either the two companies could be in competition with one another, or a successful bid for Apple could prove that our area can handle a huge high-tech company. Remains to be seen. For now, we're live at RTP. Maggie Newland, CBS 17 News.
This could be a huge deal. Maggie, thank you. An estimated 30,000 people marched down Fayetteville Street today to ask state leaders for more money for education.
It was truly something to see. We brought you live coverage all day, including the main event this afternoon, the Rally for Respect. CBS 17's Colleen Quigley was in the middle of it all this afternoon. She joins us live right now. And Colleen, you got a lot of reaction from teachers.
I mean, Russ and Angela, they were so energized. They were so excited. When we were out here a few hours ago, you really couldn't make your way from this end of the plaza to that end of the plaza. All of these teachers and parents were out here. The hashtag this afternoon, Red for Ed. Everyone had their red shirts on. But the teachers we spoke with said this really isn't just about salaries. They want to make sure legislators are doing all they can to have healthier and safer schools with plenty of resources for their students.
Thousands of teachers, parents, even the youngest students.
I'm learning to time.
Made their way to Bicentennial Plaza to let their legislators know they want public education to become a priority.
I wanted to come out here to support my teacher and make sure she's being treated fairly for all the hard work she does.
At the center of the conversation, teacher pay.
Enough is enough.
March organizers say North Carolina is 37th in the nation, with the state's teachers earning about $9,600 behind the national average.
It's personal, folks.
Teachers are leaving North Carolina, and it's been tempting for me. I could get paid more in other states just for having my master's degree.
Teachers say it's not just about their salaries, but more funding for schools and students. High school teachers David Wainwright and Stephen Langford say one of the biggest issues is crowded classrooms.
The biggest class I had was 36. I teach history, but it was in a chemistry lab, and so there just wasn't room enough for everybody.
Just having enough books for the class is something I think about as an English teacher.
Parent Rebecca Greenberg says teachers in her daughter's school are constantly dipping into their own pockets for supplies. She and fellow parents are happy to help out, but she says she came to the rally to make sure lawmakers were listening.
We love our teachers, and they are so underfunded, and they work so hard, and they put in so much time and effort for these two. Coming out today was literally the very least I could do for them.
Now, one of the other rallying points out here this afternoon was more funding to create safer and healthier schools. So what that means to these teachers is school nurses. Some teachers I spoke with said they don't have a full-time nurse in their building. The other issue, they want to see school resource officers, more of them, saying some schools only have one for the entire building. Reporting live in Raleigh, Colleen Quigley, CBS 17 News.
More than 36 school districts canceled classes today, meaning about 2/3 of the state's 1.5 million public school students did not go to class today. But that does not mean a lot of those students didn't get a lesson in all of this.
I'm Allison Sarnowski, and I'm from Currituck County High School, and I plan to go into education at NC State this fall. So I'm here with my mom and my brother. We're here supporting our teachers.
Students and parents joined educators today, and they all had one main message for members of the State House and Senate. We vote in November is what they're saying. The North Carolina Education Association says this is a marathon, not a sprint. In 6 months, these teachers will cast their votes in the general election. And we have heard a lot today about North Carolina coming in 37th in the whole nation when it comes to teacher salaries. North Carolina is more than $9,000 behind the national average, but when it comes to starting teachers' pay, North Carolina is even further down the list. Starting teachers in North Carolina make $37,500 a year. That's more than $1,000 less than the national average and well below the highest starting salaries of $51,000 in New Jersey and Washington, D.C.
Yeah, as you said, North Carolina teachers are behind the curve when it comes to salary. And that's not all. North Carolina spends about $2,400 less per student than the national average. I sat down with the governor today to get answers about what he thinks teachers need.
And under my plan, every single teacher, including veteran teachers, will get at least a 5% raise. Some of them will get almost a 15% raise. It's something that we have to do, but it's also beyond teacher raises. When you're talking about investment in our public schools, we've got to invest more in textbooks and in digital learning and in teaching fellows scholarships.
Well, the biggest complaint I've heard from teachers today is not that they want these pay raises, is that they're not getting the funding they need for the classroom. I mean, they're shelling out $100 to $200 a month of their own money.
And one of the things my budget provides is a stipend of $150 to each teacher, acknowledging to them, we understand that you're reaching into your own pocket. It's something that the state should do to help provide them with those supplies. You think about parents and grandparents, we trust our teachers to teach our kids, to keep them safe. Let's put our money where our trust is. Let's put our money into public school teachers and public education, because they're here today and they got into teaching not because of the money.
They love it.
They love it, and I believe that teachers care more about outcomes than they do incomes.
Sure.
They care about success of their students. They care about success of their schools. I go into dozens of schools and talk to teachers. One said to me the other day, when I asked what she wanted us to do, she said, I just want some respect from Raleigh. And I think that has been a grassroots feeling throughout public education in North Carolina. They want respect, and it's time for us to give it to them. But I'm grateful for my public education in North Carolina, my 3 daughters. I think my mom was a public school teacher. I know what we need to do, and I believe these teachers are here with one voice today to say, please invest in public schools and do what you need to do.
And he's talking about his mother. The crowd went wild, chanting his name. You can see my entire interview with Governor Cooper, including his comments on Apple and Amazon, on our website, CBS17.com.
Teachers picked today because it is the first day of the new session, and they wanted to make sure to get the attention of our state lawmakers. CBS 17's Michael Hyland gets answers at the Capitol.
A sea of red, here to see the people in power. Ken Whistler teaches at Knightdale High School.
We are giving up all of our time. We're bursting at the seams financially, socially, emotionally, and our students are the ones who are suffering.
Teachers filled the House and Senate galleries as lawmakers came back for the first day of the legislative session. Republicans put up signs pointing out teachers will get an average 6% pay raise next year, the 5th raise in a row.
Even with that pay raise, we will still be below the national average. Should teachers be satisfied with that?
Well, we are certainly not satisfied with that. We are continuing to work in the future to continue to raise teacher pay.
Teachers say that's not happening fast enough. I asked House Speaker Tim Moore about that. Should teachers expect it to be any higher than that? Will any money from the surplus go toward that, perhaps?
You know, we are looking at some bonuses. We're looking at doing some things for some targeted areas that may be even in addition to that.
Organizers of the rally acknowledge this isn't just about pay, but also politics.
How much of what we're seeing today is about trying to shift the balance of power so that the Republicans are not in charge here come November?
Yeah, this is day one. May 16th is day one of a long 6-month stretch.
Many of these teachers plan to be back between now and then.
Remember, we vote in November.
In Raleigh, Michael Hyland, CBS 17 News.
And you can see all of our stories from today's Rally for Education, from the teachers on the buses this morning to the march, as well as lawmakers' reaction and Angela's one-on-one interview with Governor Cooper on our website, CBS17.com, and our mobile news app.
We are working to find out more about a crash on Highway 42 in Clayton that killed an 8-year-old girl today. Neighbors tell us there is no shoulder there, and there's a deep drop-off on each side of the road. CBS 17's Amy Cutler is digging deeper to find out what the Department of Transportation is doing to make that road safer.
State Highway Patrol says the 2011 Toyota 4Runner went down a 100-foot embankment. It hit a tree stump and overturned. Behind the wheel, 43-year-old Douglas Hutchins, his daughters, 11-year-old Ella and 8-year-old Lucy, also inside.
Well, I was shocked.
Authorities say a car was headed east on NC 42 and had stopped to make the turn onto Woodbury Drive. Hutchins was behind him but wasn't able to stop in time. That's when he swerved, going down that steep embankment.
It happened around 11:15 this morning. All 3 were rushed to the hospital. Authorities say Lucy died. Her father needed emergency surgery.
My wife and I both were always concerned about the fact that there was like no shoulder on either side of 42 and, you know, a deep drop off on both sides.
I've been here about 25 years, and this neighborhood, the traffic has become really bad on 42 in both directions.
NCDOT is working on it. They're in the process of taking down trees, part of a bigger project to widen the road from 2 lanes into 4.
Do you think that'll make a difference?
Hopefully someday with the 4 lanes, the way they all set up the road, perhaps, hopefully it'll be safer.
According to the NCDOT website, construction of those 4 lanes from Glen Laurel to Buffalo Roads is set to begin this year. In Clayton, Amy Cutler, CBS 17 News.
What a heartbreaking story. A local grandmother shot and her grandson killed. New tonight, who police are now looking for. Wes.
Well, I know it was in the 90s last weekend, so technically this work week has been cooler. Sure doesn't feel like it. Incredibly high humidity, and we've got these continuing to roll through. I'll track them tonight and tell you when they'll be back for tomorrow. Coming up in your forecast.
Did you know about the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels?
No. Plus, documents that now prove the president did pay back the money his attorney paid to a porn star. Stay with us. New tonight, Fayetteville police are looking for Terrence Melvin. Detectives say he is considered armed and dangerous. Melvin is wanted in connection to the shooting death of DeMarco McKeown on April the 26th. McKeown's grandmother also was shot but did survive. If you have any information on Terrence Melvin, call Fayetteville Crime Stoppers.
2 state troopers and a Wake County deputy accused of assaulting a man during an arrest now have mugshots of their own. Cameron Broadwell, Tabitha Davis, and Michael Blake were all booked into jail today. The 3 are accused of beating a Raleigh man with fists, feet, and flashlights during an arrest last month. All are now on administrative duty. We've also learned today that Trooper Blake was suspended in 2015. Records do not show why. The Texas mom arrested in Raleigh in March is back in San Antonio tonight. Investigators say Michelle Boyd gave a fake name when she checked into Wake Med. Now, because of that arrest, they discovered she was also wanted in Texas for child abandonment.
New tonight, financial documents show President Trump did reimburse his attorney, Michael Cohen, for the $130,000 Cohen paid to porn star Stormy Daniels. The president's payment to Cohen is a footnote on the 92-page financial disclosure statement the president signed and filed with the Office of Government Ethics. On the bottom of page 45, it says, quote, in 2016, expenses were incurred by one Donald J. Trump's attorneys, Michael Cohen. Mr. Cohen sought reimbursement of those expenses, and Mr. Trump fully reimbursed Mr. Cohen in 2017, end quote. The Office of Government Ethics concluded President Trump met his disclosure requirements with this filing, even though the payment was not listed on the form last year.
New tonight, people in Hawaii are reporting more earthquakes and damage to roads and buildings because of the ongoing eruptions at the Kilauea volcano. Hawaii County Police reports cracks across Highway 11. And while the road is still passable tonight, drivers are urged to use caution.
It may be a long night for some families in Durham. Police say the intersection of Dixon Road and MLK Boulevard could be closed all night because of down power lines. Police tweeted just after 9 o'clock that strong winds took down power lines, leaving about 4,000 customers without power. According to Duke Energy's website, the power is supposed to be on around 11:30 tonight. Fingers crossed there, Wes.
Sir, and as we've been talking about all day, the big story downtown was the rally for education, and it stayed dry until about this time. That's about 4 o'clock when Sky I-17 is showing you some of the storm clouds rolling through. You know, the good news out of everything that's coming our way this week,